dare you? That's my power!
Alright, hello everybody, this is me again. I'm actually coming with you with a cool new deck idea. This one is something that was heard of, was something that did good at the tournament, but for me personally, I just think it's awesome because it's actually my favorite character. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about Tag Team Gohan. Yeah, cool thing about Tag Team Gohan is friends are everywhere. You have all your allies out there, and it just makes it like really effective when Gohan can bust them out in every battle. So I just wanted to go ahead and get this started. The one thing we actually care about is the level 1, not actually caring about the rest of the 3, but yeah, we'll have those out there anyways. So anyways, just to start it off, we all know what Gohan does. He helps you bust out the allies whenever you get into battles. You get the search your life deck when entering combat for an ally and put into play. If you control 3 or more allies, advance your MP 1 level. The goal is to only use that when you need it, meaning if you have just one person out there, or if you like have your whole field get wiped out, then at least you still have him to start busting out people in the next battle. So and the cool thing about the mastery is right at the beginning of your opponent's turn, you have to bust out one of your other allies. So you basically get like 2 allies if you wait for one turn and go into battle. So it's pretty awesome. So speaking about the allies, let's go ahead and introduce what I have inside of this deck. We first start off with Krillin, because I played a few orange decks. I realized I needed a little more board control, so I stuck Krillin in there to get rid of all the drills from an orange deck. You just sit there and select obviously the focusing drill, and then after that you just start whittling away at everything else you have out in front. So Krillin is one of the allies I have. I got myself Tien. Tien is awesome. Energy attack, does 3 life cards. If it hits, it's going to allow you to draw a card. So I like him inside the deck because usually you wait until after your opponent's used all of his blocks and other attacks, and you sit there and just attack with him when your power level is low enough, and bam, you get to sit there and get a free card. So that's really good. I like him as well. Chaozu, when you see this deck, you're going to wonder, why is Chaozu in there? You're just going to shuffle him back in. Well, when you can constantly bring him back out, he's pretty awesome because that's 7 life cards if you can do it right. So that's why I had Chaozu in there. He's pretty cool. You can recycle him. He gets off the field, helps you bring out other allies with, the Gohan and the Tag Team Mastery, so it's awesome. Icarus, this little buddy is like one of your best friends. Normally what I try to do with Icarus is I usually try to get out with the mastery for my opponent's turn. I usually try to get out one of my either like a Tien or probably my Yamcha. But whenever you go into battle, you always want to do with Gohan. You always want to try to get out Icarus because he protects everybody else out there, and he makes it where they have to do damage to him first. He only does 1 life card, but you rejuvenate one, and depending on how you work that, I've rejuvenated my time a few times. So I definitely would be down with having Icarus in there. Alright, then we got the Yamcha. Yamcha's good because you know how your opponent nowadays is probably going to try to attach all those attach card play, like I've seen Tria might go on people. Well, guess what? Yamcha gets to shuffle the support of the setup, drill, or ally in play. So guess what? He's going to shuffle that guy in, and you at least do less damage to yourself. The only bad thing is when he's out there by himself, he's going to have to shuffle somebody in anyway, so he's probably going to shuffle himself. So, but 3 life cards, I like it. I like him being offensive. Then we got Piccolo. Piccolo is the beast because Piccolo blocks all the energy attacks. The reason I chose him over Chi-Chi is because of the fact that people are doing a lot more physical beats in their deck, allowing my stages to go down and allowing all my other people to do their attacks. Piccolo is good because when they try to hit you with energy attacks, he's just all of a sudden there and gets all crazy for you. So speaking about attacks, I'm going to go ahead and walk into them easily. And the first one we're going to do is Wall Breaker. Wall Breaker. I like this card. Everybody likes this card. It's rare. Stops them from getting anger. So when you fight those red decks, or you fight the Saiyan decks, and all that jazz, you got the Wall Breakers in there, stopping them from angering up, and hopefully allowing yourself to get the advantage by having low stages, not getting too many stages off. You're getting life card damage. So everybody loves Wall Breaker. Got 3 of those running in here. Besides the 3 Wall Breaker, we also got Android Arm Breaker with the new ability of having the what is that card? I can't remember, but they're allowing yourself to level up with that card. Arm Breaker prevents your opponent from leveling up. So let's just say Devouring Drill goes out there, you're not going to level up. Let's just say just anything. You won't let your opponent level up just randomly from all of his card effects. This what it's going to do is you just block him from that. It has 3 endurance, so if they even hit off the top of your life deck, That's 4, endurance for you. So it helps prevent all the criticals that they could against you, and helps keep the wall breaker on them a little longer. So that's why I like this one right here. Then we got ourselves the blue head knock, which is obviously used because we want to, get their anger down to 0. 0 anger is good. 5 life cards for a physical attack, that's pretty juicy as well. Endurance 2, so 3, that's like even better because it keeps your deck from getting launched out of there with all the energy attacks that they decide to go offensive. So we got that for you. For the energy attacks, we got ourselves, obviously, Blue Terror. Blue Terror is great. Search your life deck for things. When you see the other energy cards, you'll understand why I have Blue Terror in there for the energy attack wise. But it's really juicy. Great card for any situation. Getting out your time, all that jazz. Blue Terror is awesome. The next one I have down here is going to be the blue draining attack. Only want to run one of these inside of here because I have all these other card effects. They're going to bring down my stages so my other allies can do things. This deck is not very offensive for the energy attacks or the physical attacks. It's basically using the attacks of the allies to continuously use them over and over again and to try to get them to whittle away little and slowly but surely. But once they do, it works off in the end. This just helps me even more because your stages get to get dropped. Do an extra life card if for every 2 stages lowered. So it's really good to get your stages down, get your allies to do stuff, and to do a little bit more life card damage. So I only play one of these ones though. Blinding Energy, everybody gets in those tricky spots where you just can't do anything and you're kind of scared and worried. Guess what? It costs nothing for the Blinding Energy move, and guess what you can do? You get to banish the top 2 cards, hopefully your allies, so you can rejuvenate them at the end of combat, and, end the combat. So when you see them getting juicy with their big old hands from the red decks, and purposely using their times and their visitings and all that kind of jazz, just go ahead and end the combat and say, hey, guess what? You used that for nothing. So I only play one of those in there because it's just like a tricky card. You just want to do it in the very end. We got ourselves the Blue Clash. The great thing about this one is the damage cannot be prevented, and if they banish an ally in this turn, then it does another 4 life cards. So that could be technically 8 life cards damage right there. The reason I like this one the most though is because if it hits, search your life deck or banish zone for an ally and play it. Meaning, if they decide not to block, A, either they don't have a block, or B, they decide to take the damage, which could be potentially 8 life cards unprevented. But if they don't, then you have another chance of possibly getting out another good attack, so you get off the Tien, or you get off the Yamcha just to get another energy attack and whittle away that much more. This only costs 1 stage, which is amazing, and I love this card. So that's why I have 2 of those in here. Alright, everybody knows this one. Overpowering attack. This one's great, costs 2 stages, amazing, because you get to get out an ally regardless. Yeah, this one 5 life cards. Just a good card in general, playing any sort of ally deck. You just constantly get to cycle through your allies that they get often on the field. So this one's a great one to have. And they're always trying to get rid of your allies because they don't want to get attacked. They don't want to shuffle stuff in. They don't want you to draw a card. So they're going to try to get allies out all the time. And you got this guy to kind of bring him back into play. I played 3 of them just to be super, super heavy with all my allies and keeping them alive. Obviously, Blue Neck Beam. Bam! It also has endurance on there, which is amazing. Helps with endurance. But the fact that you can bring down your opponent's level, this is amazing. It's so fun. You have this with, like, say they do decide to level up. Bam! You get to go ahead and drop them down 1 level into combat if you hit. So you always want to play with, like, 3 of them, just to make sure. Either they're going to want to block one of your other energy attacks from one of your allies, or they're going to want to block this one. Either way, you're getting to the advantage. Draw a card, shuffle something in, or you just go ahead and get to lower them. So it gives you so much offensiveness for having 3 of these inside the deck. Alright, next card. You wonder why this one's in there? Everybody's wondering why this one's in there, right? The endurance, juicy, right? Anything that has endurance is juicy. But besides that, using the endurance with this card, if you use the endurance with this card, it says on there, it says, if this card is banished for endurance, you may place it into your hand. So that's amazing, because that means you could easily drop this for endurance, then put it in your hand, use that 3 stages, which you want to get stages off your MP, and bam, you get to do another energy attack and now have potential to do your allies energy attack. So this is a really good card. I like it. It only does like 3 life cards of damage or whatnot, but you know what? It's good. It's good. For me, I like it inside there because it just makes it more offensive when you're in those crazy scenarios. So those are all my attacks, but after the attacks, let's go ahead and go for the blocks. We're going to go ahead and start with the physical blocks. We got ourselves first the blue counter. I got only 2 of these in the deck because with 2 of these, if they are playing like 13 where they have the hit effects, you can go ahead and let them hit, banish one of your allies, which is going to be rejuvenated at the end of the turn anyways because you're mastery, and you'll be able to use that same attack against them. So it gives you a little bit more of an offensive guard. So only usually carry 2 of these inside of there. For the endurance, I love this card. Your MP power level is always going to be lower if you play the deck right. So hopefully sitting on 5,000 or 0, you can go ahead and use this card. And when it's used, if your MP's power level is lower than your opponent's, get to put this back on top of your life deck. So I use 3 of these. So then when I do accidentally hit with the energy attack, I got endurance on my top of my deck for days. So that's a really good physical block to have inside there. All right, this one right here. This one is another one of the cards that you do to reduce your stages. For every 2 stages you lower on your main personality, lower your opponent's anger 1 level. So if you have 3 of these inside of there, and you decide, hey, look, he's over there at like 5 anger or 4 anger, trying to level himself up for 5. Well, let's go ahead and drop yourself 10 stages and drop his anger 4 anger. So let's go ahead. Yeah, this card is like too good for this kind of deck where you constantly keep your stages down and you constantly want to be in control of your opponent. So that's why I play 3 of those within the side of the deck. For my energy defense, I got myself over here the Blue Flight. Blue Flight, it stops an energy attack. You may banish one of your allies to search your life deck or discard from an ally and play it. So if you're sitting out there, let's say they already did their damage and they took care of Icarus and they're about to aim for somebody else of yours, well, guess what? You should be in control of that, right? So let's go ahead and block that, banish someone else, bring like Icarus or somebody back into play and just like make it where you're a little bit more in control of the game. So let's say you haven't gotten anybody out yet. Say you need that Piccolo out of your deck. Go ahead and banish somebody, get the Piccolo out to do another energy block when time comes for it. So I usually just play with a couple of these in there because, it's really hard to figure out which one you're going to banish just to get someone else out. But, 2 of them, it just helps build up for that strategy. Alright, then we got ourselves the Blue Energy Shield. Alright, you may set your MP's power level to 0. Your allies cannot be destroyed by critical damage effect this combat. Meaning that, if you have all your allies out there, which I've done a few times, just drop your power level to 0 and they can't be critted. And then if they do try to banish and Icarus is out there, then guess what? They have to focus on Icarus first. And you have potential to stop with Piccolo, stop with this card. It's just so good. Like, this one is another really good card to get your stages down, have your allies do the attacks for you, and you just, sit in the back burner and just watch what happens. So I do 3 of those always. Next one we have, because we all know, the best card in the blue is the Blue Narrow Escape, because endurance for days, first of all, but the ability, choose 2 energy cards and put on for your discard pile and put on top of your life deck. Dude, you can go ahead and get back a few of these cards. Just are so juicy to the overwhelming power, Blue Neck Beam, and if you draw into the next combat, you can purposely just sit there and just like have so much control. Blue Neck Beam, drop your opponent, or lower anger with the point blank volley. Just this card is so good. I wouldn't see why not to play this card in the deck. It's just I played 3 of them because it's just so amazing. So that's for the energy blocks. Alright, and then we want to know how we play with the field. What does the field look like before we actually get into combat? Well, I'll show you what setups I have. And I only have actually 5. Because all the allies are already doing their deed, I only have 5. I'm running 3 of the Blue Battle Readiness. Because at some point in time, your discard's going to have allies, and your deck's going to have allies. Why don't we just bring everybody out to have fun? So I run 3 of these, get them out there super quick, have everybody have fun on the playground. It's so fun. I should probably call this like Gohan's Playground or something like that. Then obviously the 2 visitings. 2 visiting pass to get out what card you need. I love these visiting pass. Has Gohan on there. Gohan's my favorite character. Obviously, I wish I had another one of these, but yeah. But yeah, so this one, good card. Everybody plays this. It's a staple in all decks. If you don't, you need to get some. Like, everybody has them. There's like millions of extras in the world. Get visitings because you can pull out any card you want to like make the whole game to your advantage. So. Alright, next card I have, the next ones are all my events. Everybody knows about events. Events are just what makes the game a little more stable for yourself. We all got the time. Time is a staple. You stop the battle, bam, stop them from attacking like crazy. That's just a staple in any deck. Then we got ourselves the sphere. Spheres are amazing. You see those like orange decks with orange destructions, or you see people trying to play Unleashed, and you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go ahead and stop that. Just bam, 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 rejuvenate. Right? Just rejuvenate your cards. Not only is Icarus rejuvenating with you now, you got these rejuvenating with you. You got that energy block helping you get cards on top of your deck. So much control. So you know what? Keep these guys in there. If you can get 3 spheres, amazing. If you can't, I just recommend something that also brings down your stages so your allies can do some of these. Probably maybe another cheat sheet or something. So those are my 3 spheres. Obviously 3 confrontations. Get the hand advantage. See what they're dealing with in there. You want to shuffle all their things inside their deck. It's This is a good card. You just get so much more control in the field, or control during battle, and I don't see why you don't play these in the 2. This is another staple I always play with 3 of. And then we got the blue shifting, blue shifting maneuver. Endurance 2, so 3 cards for endurance, and then, it can block a physical or energy attack. I did see there's a couple cards I have down here, like the point blank volley, where it helps you get 2 anger, possibly if you do it right, you can get 3 anger. So instead of banishing this guy, he's just going to go back into your discard, and then at some point rejuvenate him with either a sphere or your Icarus. Wouldn't rely on rejuvenating stuff with sphere and Icarus, by the way, but just it gives you that extra block inside the deck for your physical and an energy attack. So that's my Gohan deck. I've been doing pretty well with it. I like Gohan a lot. I'm not going to give up on this guy. And this deck has actually done me pretty well. I've beaten Brawly with it. I've beaten just a few other random decks, Gohan versus himself, because we all know that this game has crazy dimensions like that. But yeah, so that's my deck. Go ahead, play it for a while. It's done me pretty good justice. It's really fun. If I were to give you any advice on it, I would say initially start off with getting out like a TN, and for the first turn with your mastery, and then if you go into battle, bust out the Icarus, because then you get to have an extra energy attack and then a physical attack, which they don't usually care for a physical attack, but then you get that 1 rejuvenation for it, and you still do 1 life card. So what's the problem with that? So I would just recommend that for the initiating battles. And then obviously don't jump to level 2. Do not jump to level 2. I've tried it a few times. Do not jump to level 2. You want to stay at that level 1 because it just helps you so much more to control. So if you guys have any ideas for me, let me know. It's been great showing you this video. Also, I just want to give kudos to one of my friends at League for making me this amazing Gohan card. Yeah, best character in the format. So yeah, let me know how you guys like it. And I'll talk later.